Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another scene set within the Chronicles of Darkness, Vampire the Requiem, a Requiem for London. Tonight, we host this scene once more at the Royal Albert Hall, an Elysium organized by Murph Caliborn, Keeper of Elysium of the Circle of the Crone, and two Carthians, Nova Morales and Jean-Arc Bolvin, the proprietor of the Royal Albert Hall, or so it is said. Within this Elysium, Miss Anson, the Lady Rose, has been given a rather auspicious invitation, somewhat in light of her recent actions, and others in light of her lineage. She has been invited to a meeting that is taking place on the roof of the hall, or should it be said the highest floor, just underneath the beautiful glass ceiling.
Ah, the glass ceiling and long-time lover.
In a very stark contrast to the rest of the hall, the roof is much more utilitarian. Usually only maintenance workers and janitors and the like, only they really come up here. This is not a place that hosts crowds. The place is a mess of wooden frames, large metal tethers, and railings that circle the roof.
Well, she will go to where the meeting is after she's had a drink and she's let her family know she's been called to some kind of meetup gathering.
Oh, it is your family that has called you.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sully does not need to be informed.
No, Sully is the one who has informed you on behalf of his sire.
Oh, great. So, this is gonna be awkward. Yeah, no, she'll go up there muttering about appearances and how she hates keeping them.
You walk up through the roof under the guidance of the keeper, a member of your particular sect of the circle, and a senior within it. Although she is much more the face of your group to the city's kindred.
Beautiful night, huh, Keeper?
Yes. I must say, it is rather chilly up here.
I felt colder.
But you have to organize it up here.
Maybe she likes to see us climb.
I understand that privacy is a concern, but honestly, anywhere else within the court would have done. There are plenty of offices and spare rooms. Then again, I suppose your ancestor has a mind for the grandiose.
Yes, her dramatics are always enlightening. Oh, by the way,
There's nothing. Oh.
I was going to just ask out of character about how high up have they gone?
I mean, the rollout hole is quite large. It spans several floors.
She's like looking down over whatever railing there is. She goes, "Who knows? Maybe she just wanted to view down upon everyone."
While it would make a change of pace for her, I don't think that is her style.
Well, as they go, Rose is adjusting her cocktail dress, straightening, like pushing her hair flatter and more neat looking as they walk. Look a little more formal than what Sully lets her get away with.
To answer your question, the Royal Albert Hall is about 41 meters tall. And the hall itself is very much a dome, so you're very much looking at a domed. Looking at a domed roof.
I just wanted to see how paranoid Rose needed to be, and she needs to be a little paranoid.
Okay. Well, the keeper guides you to the center of the roof. And it's there that you see a great many figures gathered.
Oh, fun. She will, with the best amount of etiquette she can muster right now, while thinking, "Please don't throw me over," slowly approach her group of kindred family.
So, obviously you already know who your grandsire is.
Mm-hmm.
The woman of the white hair and the red, almost metallic looking dress, red and black, is your great grandsire.
So the only ones I wouldn't actually know personally or the names of are the two other women.
Two at the bottom. You can have a roll me intelligence politics, dice roll a 1, to have an idea of who they might be.
Well, let me see what my thing is. So intelligence 2, her politics is 2, and she's got kindred city politics. Would that apply for her special?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. And that adds extra dice, correct?
Ooh.
That adds a extra dice, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's fine. 2 successes, 1 to 10.
Okay, so the 10 exploded into a 7, so it remains 2 successes. Okay. Of 2 successes, you know both their names.
Cool. Love their names, yay.
The woman with the ankh around her neck is called Magladine. She's a neonate. She is a powerful sorcerer for her age. Perhaps more importantly, she holds a rather unique niche within the crone. She is a necromancer.
Rose will actually do a half cross her knee, curtsy style bow, the more modern ones you see. The ones where you don't go all the way down to her before she takes a stance sort of closer to Sully since she knows him personally.
The other one, the black woman with her hair done up in a bundle, is Daniela Brannigan. She leads those who follow the ways of Voden within London. The third sect among the crone, and the smallest. Something to note with Magladine, is that she doesn't really follow any of them. She's the closest thing to an independent within the crone that you can get.
Yeah. Rose will make a note. She'll then greet the Danielle or Daniela. And then, yeah, she'll stay in her spot near Sully.
Evening, Rose. Glad you could make it.
Well, when family calls, you come running.
Yeah, you do. Good on you. We were just discussing family politics.
That's always fun.
Yeah. Or Amonte, as some call her. Breaks off her conversation she's having with Magladine and Daniela and walks towards you.
Rose, without disrespecting her, will hold her ground. She won't back up from her. She won't step forward towards her. She's just going to stand still.
Rose, it has been too long. How have you been?
I could be worse, I could be better, she'll say with a smile.
I hear you have been aiding my child. He hasn't put you in any unnecessary danger now, has he?
I have been doing a lot of charity work for friends and acquaintances. I would need some kind of picture or name to know which one you're speaking of.
Does she get cheeky with her?
No, she's not getting cheeky. She literally doesn't understand because she's helped a lot of people so far. Now, out of character, I think I might know who it is.
Sully. I am referring to Sully, my dear.
Oh, okay. No. Oh, yeah. Grandpa, I do lots of work for him.
I hear you've been aiding us in our crusade against the sanctified.
Yeah, she's side-eyeing solely at the moment. Yes, it's been a very painful aid against them. But hopefully it's dealt with for the most part. Yeah. Please don't tell me I have to go back out there. That's all she says.
Acting in defense of one's faith is rarely a peaceful process, Rose.
I understand.
I'm afraid you may face yet more trials in the nights to come.
Well, it can't be worse than Joshua or the other things, she'll say with a smile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Glad to see Appel's end of a bargain. Of course, not like I gave him much choice.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't. He didn't rub me as what he was. He seems more like you than his people, Gramps.
I mean, you say that. I've given him the benefit of the doubt, but you seen the video? It's been making the rounds.
No, I have not. I've been trying
Uh,
to figure out why I'm missing long
oh,
hours at night.
basically, he became Hound by picking a fight with the Carthians and kind of shit all over them without really warranting it. He was looking for well, a whole bunch of revenants. I think one of them was his child now. If it was declared that Elysium was true, the last one. But
Yeah.
he basically said that he claimed that that Acarthians had violated all these rules when it turned out they hadn't actually. It was him. So he's a bit of a bad faith actor. I think he's playing nice with us because he's trying to recover his lost rep.
Yeah. I mean,
So he's someone you got to keep an eye on. He might be nice to you now, but he's already shown he's more than happy to
she's shaking her head no.
renege on a deal if it suits him.
He isn't nice. He's only as nice as he needs to be. I know much. Just like I know you're nice and tolerable of my actions until they fuck up what you're doing.
Yeah. Anyway, in spite of that, I gave him a fair shot. He was straightforward enough. We'll see where it goes. Maybe I won't have to skewer him. Hopefully he stays down south.
And I just need him to stay away from me, or my friends Jeff and Jackie aren't going to come around.
Yeah, we may need to have a chat about that later, but not Jackie though. Jackie's cool. Yeah, Jeff.
So is Jeff. Jeff is a complete gentleman. She'll say with her arms crossed.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know where I stand on it. I've made my offer. If you or have I stated what I can and will do. But if you wish to implore anyone for greater support, I mean, now's the time, love.
She's like looking at her ancestor now, trying to assess the best way to talk to her.
She raises an eyebrow at this.
I had someone save my life while I was doing work for Soli. And I didn't promise we could fix the situation he's in, but I said we would try to help him. And his response really was basically, try is all I can ask. But I would really prefer if no one got near me. She's also looking at the other two women to see how they're gauging this conversation so far.
Daniela seems to be paying attention and is quite curious as to what you've gotten yourself into. She seems to be enjoying the update, not necessarily relishing in it, but she is definitely quite engaged. Magdalene seems to be off in her own world and seems to be barely paying attention to the conversation any more than is necessary. She seems to be
She kind of looks at Solange and goes, should I just put this bluntly? Is it safe to bluntly hear about this?
I picked this place for its secrecy.
So basically, he has a blood hunt on him.
You refer to the Revenant Hickory Willow, yes?
Yes. And the only reason I offered to help him is the fact he literally put himself between me and a crusader.
A brave man.
Yeah, didn't really do much good for either of us. We both took a very long blood sword. She's just looking at Sully. Blood sword.
Amonte considers what you say. The mention of a blood sword rouses her memory. She seems to think to herself. She sways back and forth for a brief moment before looking back at you. Yes, a not insignificant rite of transmutation.
Rose is like nervously touching where she had been stabbed now, which I'm assuming is like near the collarbone from how you described it last scene. Well, I will say it was not a very fun thing to deal with, and I officially hate that blonde woman.
Blonde woman. Oh dear.
Yeah. So that's my basic situation. Besides, another Ventru getting me into shenanigans with Joshua, but that's probably not best to speak of anywhere.
She looks around. She looks to the keeper. Are you certain this place is secure from any unwarranted observers? To which the keeper nods very respectfully. Now, Rose, you know that is a powerful venture. Your great-grandson may have the power to unveil these memories that have been hidden from you? If you were to ask, of course.
That's actually why she made the comment that she's missing several hours of a night of memory.
Oh, you're missing a night and a half. You're
I'm
missing everything from the drop-off point to the next night regarding your interrogation. Then you wake up, and then you wake up basically in your haven, completely unperturbed, with no memory of how you got back there.
She will state on the Joshua and Marcus Irons, which she will use his name situation, that she literally has no memories for a night and a half after meeting them.
Do you wish to convince your great-grandsire to grant you such memories back? She's one of
Yeah,
few kindred in the domain who could do so.
actually, I want to try that along with the arguments of I could better serve the circle if I knew what knowledge was missing from my mind.
Hmm. Make me
I won't make you any roll.
a manipulation plus persuasion roll. You're trying to smooth talk her into helping you out.
Alright, where is my persuasion? I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Yeah, convincing an elder generally requires more finesse than it does raw strength of charisma. They're not so easily moved. I'm going to say you're going to lose her resolve in dice, which is 4.
Oh, if I spend a willpower, all I get to roll is a 4. So I just get a chance dice. Oof. Wish me luck.
Okay.
God damn it. I will continue to argue and debate for my right of memories if I need to.
While I take grave offense to one of my line having their memories robbed of them, it would be unwise for us to trifle with the powers of being victors,
I
while
just
we lead
I kind
a
of
front against the sanctified.
yeah, Rose will listen and she'll go, I just feel it would be helpful since that hunter called me up with the others, like Marcus Iron and them, to talk about something I don't understand fully. Why? I mean, I remember texting Solely before we left and leaving, but I don't understand why this is such a big deal.
For an Archon to pick you up off the street and drop the sheriff as someone who would
It
be so inclined to deal with the situation themselves implies that it was something of significant importance, that you held something that they wanted immediately. Now, this domain has become less subtle in its attempts to subvert those that are not of the unconquered. However, even they are generally not so open. Not yet. They are not secure enough in their ivory towers. Either it is something that angers them enough to do this, to throw subtlety to the wayside, or it is something that scares them.
she looks to Solely at that moment. And with that, viewers, we are taking a small moment while the ST deals with something.
Sorry about that.
It's all right. So, no, what I said, though, was she did look to Sully because, as it was explained, she would remember everything before the drop-off point. So I would probably remember telling Sully about it. So it's really on his lead what gets kind of mentioned to her. I know Rose will not be saying the word because that seems to magically summon a certain archon.
Yeah, it's something that would scare him.
Yeah. I will put it like this. What Mr. Irons said he was hunted by scared the archon. And apparently there's a law against talking about them, but they don't tell the people till they break it.
A god-blooded predator being hunted. Unusual.
I remember basic stuff I read about something, what they described to me, but I'm pretty sure Sully could probably give you more to know about it than I could. Um, the only other situation I've had to deal with is she kind of looks at their current keeper with them apologetically. A certain keeper of Elysium. That's a maquette.
With respect, this meeting is not regarding your personal feuds.
She'll not. That's fine. Anything else? I'm not sure how to help.
We came here to discuss matters of faith and how to move forward as the Serenites bear down on us and seek to gain the greatest fruits of our labors. Then Yellow will pipe up. Every time one of my people show up to this city, every time we try to build something, it's always been the damn Romans that have shut us down. Not the Sanctified, not the Invictus, not the Ordo. I doubt they really care. It's always been our own people. It needs to stop. It needs to stop now, and soon. Otherwise, the Romans are going to be the only ones left.
Rose is going to listen to them. I will be right back. I have to pull the meat out.
Amonte will.
Alright, I'm back.
Okay, Amonte will simply say, We are running short on time. Mona, their leader, their martyr, sits upon the Primogen Council, manipulating the court to victimize those outside of her own circle. Meanwhile, it is us. We're on the front lines fighting this war on her behalf. And I believe it will only be a matter of time that such resentments spill over into a war between us all. A divided house cannot stand. The Primogen seeks to remedy this problem by simply destroying all dissent.
So what you're saying is she's an infected limb that needs to be tended to.
Right now, she's the heart. She controls by far and away the largest sect of our order. Without her faith, we fall. Yet, if we remain still, we will be destroyed. It may be tomorrow, it may be months from now, it may be decades, but she will. Slowly, piece by piece. She's already been taking steps to remove my people. Just like those that left the city so long ago. They did not leave of their own accord, if they left at all. And while my people might rise again from the ashes, I have no intention of joining the ashes. We must find a way to square this circle. But we are short on options. A public confrontation will only divide us further.
And if she was just to suddenly disappear or die, that could make things worse also. Especially if it's without someone to replace her.
I might be able to destroy her. But she pauses. Sully looks at her. He looks concerned in a very earnest way. Sympathetic even. It is a bit unusual for him to express such sentiments openly.
She's just going to quietly admire / watch them for the moment.
Rose, soon I will be over 300 years old.
You don't look a day over 30. She'll say it with kind of like a polite smile.
But such time on this earth has changed me. Human blood sustains me no longer. I feel the long sleep coming.
I see.
Andraste is calling for me. Whatever is to occur in the next few years, I will not be the one to lead it. And while I could destroy Mona, she is very powerful herself. And we cannot risk division. I have been discussing with my fellows here. We must find a way to meld. To synchronize our faith so that they are no longer a difference that is divisive, but a difference that is celebrated. A means in which we can relate to each other.
I understand.
Magladine has told me the person to do this must be you.
Rose's eyes for a moment go about 3 times their normal size wide.
I suppose in a way it makes sense. Under my lineage you command the lion's share of my resources, or you will in time. And you possess a modern eye that I lack. A progressive outlook.
She's gonna kind of glance to Sully to see if she can read his expression any. I will roll if you want me to.
Mildly conflicted. But not as much as you might expect from power-hungry venture.
Then I guess I should continue my studies as thoroughly and quickly as possible.
Yes. Did you know Magladine is a Setite? She is not of our faith, but I know her gods to be real, and their power certainly is.
She kind of looks at her, head tilted a little.
They used to be more populous.
I've noticed in this day and age, religious faith, spirituality, it's like waves of the ocean. They go small for a little while, then get big again.
And yet there is a mother who perceives herself as a goddess who would control these tides. such that there would be no waves again, she would seek to become the moon. Is what Magladine says. Very abruptly interrupting a conversation.
She'll just kind of smile at Magladine and go, I always thought the moon was a very, very lonely person.
Sir, what did you say?
Oh, she smiles at Magladine's comment. She's not going to correct her because for all she knows, that's an elder. And be like, and what I always thought of the moon is it is a very lonely, lonely person.
It is. Like all those who descend from the blood of gods, they tie themselves to the earth so that they may have company in their loneliness. Please do not ask me why I have seen you. I am seldom told why.
Well, I'm sure the reason will reveal itself at some point. I can be patient to learn an answer.
Mona is like a tower. Not easily broken. She must be dismantled brick by brick. You must remove her foundations.
Well then, I guess we should figure out what are the weakest points of the foundation and start there.
And for this you will have our help. And when the time comes, and I must return to the long sleep, to torpor, you must be ready to take my place.
Yes, ma'am.
Magladine will speak. You will suffer loss. Great loss. And as much as we wrap each other in lies, there will be violence and there will be death. But we may yet hold on to that which we seek to command. To take. From those who wear a cross and wield a spear. They will find themselves just as divided as we. But unlike us, where Mona will burn in the light of her own hubris, They will find themselves riven with paranoia, uncertainty, and fear. She doesn't say anything as she allows you to speak.
Right now, Rose is just calmly listening to them speak. She seems to be trying to take it all in and figure out where to file it in her mind.
My people, Daniela says, already stand as by far and away the smallest and most vulnerable sect within this city. I would offer you as much help as I can, but I will not throw their lives away for you.
She's saying that to Rose or to her great grandsire?
Kind of both of you, all of you, really.
Rose will give her a very small, polite smile. She's not leader yet. She can't answer for the great grandsire's position.
Funny enough, speaking of all of this, there's something in it. Do you want to make me a quick wits empathy roll?
Sure. Not a problem. Let me look at my sheet. Let's see. My wits is 2. My empathy, I know that's a decent. And I don't think my gaining trust would add a die to this, would it?
No.
Alrighty. One success.
Something about what Amonti has said has really riled the Keeper's hackles. It's very slight. But she does not seem pleased.
Rose is going to tilt her head looking between them some. Not like a full, like, left to right, like her eyes are going back and forth between them.
You seem to be the only one that notices. Keeper just stares at you.
She's going to stare right back at the Keeper.
I remember the last time we put the future of our faith, our sect, on a neonate. They were torn to shreds and their minds were broken. Divine intervention this might be. But I will not see the mistakes of the past come to haunt us again. If this is truly to happen, we need a plan.
That I can agree with, ma'am.
Someone's speaking on our level, I like it. Forgive me, sire. But to keep it as make a point, we need to organize ourselves. After this, there's always going to be more cults, more faiths, more people. That's what makes us sanctified such a tough nut to crack. Yeah, there may be tyrants and fanatics, but they all look at the same thing. They all see the bigger picture at the end of it. And I know you hate it. I know. I know. You're all about freedom of belief, but we've been going around in circles for the past goddamn hour. How are we gonna square this circle? How are we gonna build bridges between our beliefs so that this mess doesn't happen again regardless of who's in charge? Be it Andraste, Hades, Samity, whatever.
Sully is usually right, just like in this case. And she kind of looks at the others. If I'm supposed to leave when you're gone, besides not only studying my rituals, perhaps I should actually get to know the others better? I mean, I can't be a good ally if I don't know how they see the world around us.
An odyssey, yes. Perhaps there is merit to what you say. I find this idea of, what do you call it, streamlining, synchronizing, these are all modernizing, these are all words for compromising our beliefs. But I would permit you to leave us for a period of time, so that you may learn of the beliefs of others, so that we may be unified in the wake of Mona's end, as it has been ordained.
She's actually going to look at the others and be like, is this an acceptable first step for you all?
It was ordained once before. Keeper looks quite embittered at this point.
She's going to give a very playful smirk she usually saves for Sully when they're dealing with politic talk. Then I guess you should help me prepare, huh, Keeper?
I helped the last one. They are circle no longer. You can tell your empathy success. Even with her embitterment, she is far angrier than she is letting on, even with fairly obvious inflections. and tone of her voice.
Then perhaps after this meeting, you could come to the club and tell me the story of this last one. It's better to know everything and be prepared than to know too little.
Murph, there is no other way. If there was, you would have provided us with one already.
Maybe I have, and we just haven't realized it yet. Or maybe I haven't, and I've completely failed.
She's not referring to you, she's talking to the keeper.
Yeah. Oh, okay, never mind. Too many pictures.
If you have nothing more to add than personal embitterment, then be silent or return to your duties. But on a matter such as this, you may not challenge me. And she does fall silent, begrudgingly.
And she'll look at the set-eyed and the lovely Daniela and see if they have any opinions they wish to propose.
Daniela will say, this meeting has already been a degree of outreach that my people have very rarely been offered. I would be willing to allow you to be with us for a time. I mean, I would say you are always welcome. We don't exactly turn people down, so long as they believe, or wish to believe.
Beliefs are my own, but I will state I wish to believe in and understand you all better. If we're to be allies, and that's all I can offer right now.
Then we will have further discussions together on how to move forward. In such a way that my people may not perhaps be the first sacrifices this conflict brings. It has happened once before.
Yeah, Rose looks upset at that.
Yeah, there is a degree of tension between everybody, despite all the polite words, despite all of the agreements to alliance. The Keeper has very much brought up the tension that everybody else is trying to hide, and you can feel that. In many ways, your great-grandsire resembles the very person she is aiming to destroy. The biggest and loudest voice in the room that doesn't seem to know how to take no for an answer.
She's gonna look to her great-grandsire at this point and be like, might I suggest we end the meeting on a common unity for now? I think tensions have run high and we all need a moment.
Yes, if there is one thing we can all agree on, it is that of a common enemy. This time it is not the Sanctified. It is, unfortunately, one of our own. One who would have both the Sanctified and the Invictus wipe us both from this earth. But in this we agree. She must be dealt with. They must be dealt with.
And as we wrap this up and everybody separates, Rose will go ahead and follow Daniela and just tap her on the arm and be like, I'm really sorry. And
Don't apologize.
it shouldn't have happened. And I'll do my best to keep it from happening again. And I guess
She'll simply say, what I think of you will depend far more on what you do than what you say, Rose. I have seen and heard enough words in my admittedly short lifetime to already be cynical of promises when they are given.
she'll nod her head. And she'll start to take her leave, go meet up with her goal if no one else has anything else to say to her. And the last thing she'll say is to her goal, we're going to build a better world.
Okay. There is one last thing that happens as you go to find your ghoul. As Magladine will approach you briefly.
Oh? And what does Magladine need?
If you wish to find me, you may do so at my shop.
She'll smile and she'll offer her a card for the Evening Light, the nightclub, and be like, if you ever wish to get out of the shop, you're welcome at the Evening Light.
Yes, I will need to speak with you. I have seen something. I am no woman of importance, but those who follow my god are.
Well then, shall we escort each other out tonight? Or would you prefer?
Yes. Yes, that would be good. It is, Rose, something is strange about that statement to you. As far as you're aware, there are no Setites in London. In fact, she is the only one. So for her to refer to her people as a plural is a bit odd unless she's referring to the religion at large on a global scale. Oh? You muted yourself.
Sorry, my boyfriend was asking if we're almost done.
Oh, we're almost done.
Yeah. So yeah, she'll leave with the lovely Setite. She will make a note of what she said. And I don't know if you want that on camera, what she tells Rose or not. Either way is fine. Freaking hiccups.
She tells Rose that it would not be appropriate to tell her now.
She'll nod.
But maybe when they meet each other again.
Well then, when we meet each other again.
And with that, we can end the scene right there. Thank you, player for playing. Thank you, watchers, watching. Goodbye.